YouTube. I don't imagine anybody's going to be on here to watch me on this particular video, which is okay because I think I got about 3 more hours of punishment to serve Facebook, and that's what I want to talk about. The fact that Facebook has an issue with anybody saying anything negative about somebody else. Fact of the matter is, this is life, people. Facebook needs to understand it. And for some reason, I'm being watched more than most folks. I'm having that issue with another website that I go to. They don't particularly care for my choice of words. And what both of them fucking websites are fucking missing is that this is the United States of America, people. You have a right to freedom of speech, and that's a civil right as an American citizen. And nowhere in that Constitution does it say you have a right to freedom of speech as long as what you're saying agrees with what we think. I'm seriously thinking about, seeing if I can find an attorney that'd be interested in maybe taking Facebook and some of these other websites on the internet on and make them change that, what they call TOS, terms of service. Their terms of service doesn't supersede your right as an American to freedom of speech, or my right either. Mark Zuckerberg and the rest of these fuckers need to understand that. It's not about talking about something that they agree with and they're okay with and they let that go. It's about talking about what you have on your mind, whether it's negative or it's positive. This is the second time I've gone through a fucking suspension with Facebook because they didn't like some shit I said about Donald Trump. I want to shout out to YouTube because I've never been flagged on here for nothing. And, they've always respected my right to speak my mind, say what I feel like saying, and they don't interfere with it. Nobody should interfere with a person's right to freedom of speech. Donald Trump was an asshole. My ex-wife was an asshole. The bottom line is assholes are assholes, and they need to be talked about. See, the reason why people get away with shit is because nobody knows about it. And when nobody knows about it, people just go around doing whatever the fuck they feel like until it's blown up and somebody does know about it. As soon as somebody knows about it, then it's put to a stop. But until then, people that do fucked up shit because nobody don't try to stop it, because nobody don't know about it. Criminals get away with bullshit because nobody knows about it. But when we know better, we do better, and we bust them motherfuckers, and that's what needs to happen. Facebook needs to change and get up off this fucking high horse and either let people use the platform the way they want to, or fucking take the fucking platform down. Shit. They're just sitting there, they're sitting up there. That fucking Mark Zuckerberg is a fucking million fucking air because we all have Facebook. Sponsors know that we have Facebook, and so they want to pay that motherfucker to advertise their business, and that's how he got rich. These motherfucking social media giants are getting rich at our expense and then want to tell us what the fuck to do. Fuck that. Fuck them. Fuck Mark Zuckerberg. Fuck Facebook. Fuck all of them. Your terms of service, motherfuckers, does not supersede our civil rights as Americans to the right of freedom of speech. And freedom of speech means exactly that. Freedom of fucking speech. Doesn't mean freedom of speech as long as you're saying what we like or as long as we agree with what you're saying. It's freedom of speech, motherfucker. And anybody that lives in this goddamn fucked up ass country ought to know that this country's full of shit. The people in this country are full of shit. They're either criminals that are blazing criminals that do shit that are immoral, illegal, and just wrong, or the criminals like Mark Zuckerberg. He's really nothing but another motherfucking criminal preying on people. We're all making that motherfucker rich. He's got plenty of money. Do you have plenty of money? Because I don't. But I'm also not fucking you up to get the money I do get. I'm also not taking away your rights to get the money that I do get. If anything, I'm enhancing your lives because I do come on here and say shit that makes sense. I'm not talking a bunch of stupid ass shit. I'm talking about realizing people, motherfuckers, America can't handle real life. You know, all this little shit they talking about, oh, you hear all these police departments talking about, oh yeah, we want to be perfectly transparent. That's a motherfucking lie. America is a fucking liar, okay? The United States is the biggest fucking liar on the face of the motherfucking earth. People are bullshit. Most people want to take away your rights and want to fuck you over and use you. And they don't, and if you don't benefit them, they don't want to fuck with you. I fuck with a lot of people that don't necessarily benefit me. Matter of fact, most people I fuck with don't benefit me. I don't benefit them either, probably. But that's okay, because it shouldn't be about that. I'm so sick and tired of just bullshit. Everybody got a motherfucking problem. Everybody got some kind of chip on their goddamn shoulder. Everybody is always got, it's always something wrong to everybody with something you're doing. I'm 68 years old, people. I don't give a fuck what nobody else thinks, okay? I'm going to do what the fuck Marvin does, because that's what I've been doing all my motherfucking life. Even when I was younger, I did it because I made money and I could do that. So now I don't make as much money, but I can still do that because I'm 68 years old and I don't need a job. I don't need a goddamn thing from nobody. I'm actually, I'm just getting tired. I'm raising my two children. I really am enjoying that part of my life. That's the only thing that's damn near the only damn thing that's good in my life is my children. And I have three wonderful, outstanding, awesome granddaughters from my first daughter. She's not with us anymore, but she left me three gifts that are amazing. My granddaughters are absolutely amazing. And most of my kids are too. I have 13 kids still walking this earth. 12 of them are amazing. One of them is not worth a fuck. It's a thief. But that's how she goes. I don't fuck with her. She's not welcome here. She can't call me. She can't write me. I've blocked her out of my life. If I never see her again in life, it'll be too soon. Can't stand a thief. If you steal from your own parents, you really are a low down fucking snake. And I understand, she's smoking drugs. Hell, look, I smoke too, okay? You see this? Just a joint. I get high, but I ain't stealing from nobody to do it. I've never stolen. Let me tell you something. I used to be, back in the day when I was driving the bus, I was on crack. I never, ever stole a motherfucking thing from nobody to smoke it. I have a couple of things I like to smoke now. When my girl Mary gets mad at me, first thing she calls me, oh, you old crankhead, dopehead, motherfucker. That's the first thing she calls me. But did she pay for my dope? Hell fucking no. I've never asked her for money for dope. And I never will. Because it's my firm belief that if I want to smoke, I should support my own goddamn habit. And that's exactly what I do. I don't ask her for shit. I mean, I do drive her car to go get it. But, we're supposed to be a couple, so that's supposed to be within my realm. I also put gas in that motherfucker. I don't drive it up there and drive back without, stop and put gas in it. I don't want to, mostly because I don't want to hear her mouth. But, the other part of that is I do feel some obligation to, support my own goddamn habits. And that's what I do. I'm a real man. I don't give a fuck what nobody thinks, what nobody says. I'm a decent, real, good person. You know, I don't steal from nobody. I don't lie on nobody. I don't do nothing that's immoral, illegal. Well, not, but now that weed is illegal, I'm not even doing nothing illegal anymore. I'm a good person. I'm a nice person. I'm a kind person. Unless you cross me. If you cross me, I can be a bitch. I can be your worst enemy if you make me. But I can also be your best friend. I have a lot of wisdom, and I don't mind sharing it. My children, my grown children, a couple of them do call me quite often and ask for advice, and they're my kids. Of course, I'm gonna tell them the right way, what's right, what's wrong. And luckily for them, I'm a pretty intelligent man. You understand me? I mean, I went to college. I graduated from an academy. I'm not stupid, not by a long shot. I'm fair-minded and I'm responsible. I don't lie on nobody and I don't tell people lies. And it's not about that. Like even right now, I'm kind of going through some shit with Mary, but she doesn't want to believe that I'm telling the truth. Now, what we at odds about, I kind of don't understand how there's some kind of twerk or kink in technology that she received some kind of text message, and actually the text message doesn't even it's not even incriminating. There's nothing on there that's bad or points to that I'm doing something wrong. All you hear is me laughing, and then apparently there's some chatter between my grandniece and myself when I was at a funeral of her mother. Mary wants to think that I took her car and went and picked up some bitch. Anybody that knows me knows goddamn well I have a certain amount of decorum. I have a certain amount of class. I just wouldn't do that shit. So that just goes to show me that Mary is either one stupid or she really just doesn't know me. I like to think it's probably just because she doesn't know me. And I think that I think a lot of men have done wrong to her to the point where she thinks that all men do wrong. I've never done nothing wrong to no bitch in my life. None. I've never treated a fucking female wrong or done anything to fuck her up. Well, one. I did do one. And that was because that bitch was cheating on me. So yeah, I went I bought her. I had bought her a BMW, and when she started cheating on me with some little kid, this bitch was like 20 something years old, fucking around with a 15 and 16-year-old. Okay. Now I was a bus driver, so I'm making $50,000 a year. This stupid bitch is fucking a goddamn child. Rightfully, she's a goddamn predator. She's a child predator. Should have got locked up. But be that as it may, I didn't think about that aspect of it at the time because I was more, inclined to be just hurt. And the fact that she was a fucking criminal didn't, really enter my mind. So I didn't bother to call the cops or do nothing. But I could have called the cops and had that bitch locked up. But I did. I just said good riddance. And with a quick, real funny story. When I was driving for AC Transit, that stupid bitch was driving for Westcat. And what I signed on a run, but I didn't. AC Transit has what they call uh, the board or some shit, extra board. You can sign up to just be an extra board driver. That's where you drive different buses every day. You don't know what you're going to be driving tomorrow. I don't play that shit. I always sign the line. But anyway, I signed on this bus, and for the 3 months that I signed on it, the bus that she was driving from Westcat and my bus always met at Richmond Bar at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And this little punk ass motherfucker, he's been riding with her. See, he was telling her, I guess he was telling her, "Oh, baby, you fine, you pretty," she's just the usual dumb shit niggas do to get pussy. And so, and dumb ass bitches fall for it. Because I mean, Stephanie wasn't a bad looking lady, but she also wasn't a beauty queen either. And uh, so when I pulled into the BART station, the Richmond BART, her bus was already there. That dumbass motherfucker, she's fucking, he jumps off that bus and wants to, offer to fight me. And I'm looking at, I just sat in I'm still sitting in the driver's seat on the bus with the door open. And I'm looking at that motherfucker and I said, let me tell you something, young man. If I were to jump down off this bus, come beat your motherfucking ass, the cops would come and I'd probably go to jail, lose my job. You are not worth none of that. And neither is that bitch, you guys. So you can take that bitch, stick her up your fucking dick hole, and keep it moving. Because I don't give a fuck about her or you. I'm kind of like that in life. There's a lot of things I don't care about. There's not a whole lot of things in life I give a rat's fucking ass about. And especially like now that I'm 68 years old, the only thing I give a fuck about really is those two children that are sleeping there. My other children that are grown, my grandkids, married to a certain point, and my social security check being direct deposited on my motherfucking card and my food stamp. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about shit. Nothing. There's nothing anybody can say to me that's going to hurt me or that I care about. Only my children would have the ability to do that, or my grandchildren. Anybody else that wants to say anything else that could be said about me, I really could care fucking less. They don't pay my bills. They don't feed me. If you're not paying my bills and you're not feeding me, I don't give a fuck what you think. You think what the fuck you want to. Your opinion is a non-factor. Just like my opinion is a non-factor in the big picture of things. AC Transitors always teach us to look at the big picture. That's how they teach you how to drive a bus. Look at the big picture. Remember the big picture. I see the big picture. And in the big picture of things, I don't matter. But I do matter to me. And I'm married to probably a few other people, like my children and my granddaughter. They love me. I know they do. Because I can feel it. So do most of my kids. If you have as many kids as I got, you're bound to have some that aren't going to like you. That's just the nature of the game, and it's the percentages. Um, I don't mind it because I'm not. This is life. This is not a beauty pageant. This ain't there's another word I want to use, but it's not coming to me right now because I'm fucking hot right now, and I'm kind of upset. But, it seems like this month of August has been kind of tough and very combative, confrontational. I don't like confrontation. I walk away from it in a heartbeat. I have that issue with Mary because Mary, she ain't got no problem getting up in your face, putting her finger in your face, and all that kind of shit. And I've been trying to explain to her that she doesn't have the right to do that. See, just because you with somebody, that does not give them ownership of you. Nobody owns me. Nobody ain't ever had. I'm not even. I'm the kind of guy you can't. Let me tell you this little quick story. I used to work for Douglas Parking in downtown Oakland. I was 17 years old because I've been like this all my life. This ain't nothing I just came up and newly invented. I worked for Douglas Parking down in 14th and Broadway. I didn't like the way that they were using me to work there because I was young. I was 17 years old, and no, I didn't know a whole hell of a lot, but I could tell that I was being used because what we did was we parked cars, and judges and lawyers in Oakland park their cars there because it's safe. Douglas Parking is inside is a garage, and it has I think about 7 or 8 floors. And you drive these cars into the garage, into the elevator, and you take it up to whatever floor it's assigned to. Most of the customers are monthly customers, like I say, the judges, and lawyers, and things of that nature, bailiffs. That lady that does this with the thing with when you're talking, she's recording with recording manually what they're saying. Those kind of people. Well, after everybody comes to work, and most people in that business have to be to work at I guess 8 o'clock. The court usually starts at 9, and nowadays I think some of them start at 8:30. Well, after the morning rush, and everybody's at work, and we didn't put all the cars up. Some They also had it where people could ask to have their cars washed, or it could be part of their monthly deal. So what they did was, when everybody was done parking the cars, it was my job. They told me I need to go wash cars. So sometimes I'd end up washing like 6, 7 cars a day by hand. And I'm doing this by hand now. Okay, we ain't running through no machine. Well, I was looking at the rest of the guys that was working there, and they're all in the office, and they're all laughing and drinking coffee and having a good time. I'm 17 years old. I'm out there washing cars, and I'm gonna tell you something. In the wintertime, because that garage is open, it ain't closed. So if it's cold and raining and shit out there, it's cold as motherfucker. Okay, I mean cold. It's cold, like cold up in your asshole cold. So I'm sitting there washing cars, and I'm looking at all these motherfuckers in there having a good time in the nice warm office. So one day I showed up to work, and I I just I wasn't dressed for work. I didn't put the uniform. We used to wear a tan white shirt and dark brown pants. I didn't put the pants on or the shirt on. I came, down there and basically what we would call civilian clothes. So when I finally got to the office, Mr. Douglas says, "Why aren't you dressed?" And I said, "Because," I said, "me and you need to sit down and talk. And depending on what you say to me after that conversation is over, as to whether or not I'm going to still be working for you." And see, the average person wouldn't have had the balls to say that to their boss. I'm not the average person. I didn't give a fuck about a job, same way I don't give a fuck about nothing else like that, like now. Because I could get a job in a heartbeat. Back in those days, jobs were a dime fucking dozen. And, I had a gift for gab. I knew how to talk. I was intelligent. So, I come off as somebody that, see, let me tell you something. I got a job as a correctional officer at San Quentin. You know why? Because I was a black man that the white man could stand to look at. White people don't like looking at dark people. They're very intimidated. My father was a dark person. He had that problem with white people where they were intimidated by him, and so they were scared of him. Um, I've even seen like I used to work at Wells Fargo Bank in collections at the headquarters, and there's this African dude there he's gay, but he's a dark skinned African. There were people that worked at Wells Fargo that wouldn't get in the elevator with him because they're scared of him, even though he's gay. He wasn't gonna hurt nobody. But that's how white folks think. White world is a whole totally different world, and white America is a whole different country from the ghettos in East Oakland, West Philadelphia, Bronx, Detroit. And even it amazes me that to this day we segregate, you know, ourselves. And actually, like black people don't segregate ourselves. White folks run away from them and move away. Don't want to live nowhere near. I'm living in a 55 and older subdivision in Manteca. Mary's crazy ass is the only black person in this goddamn subdivision, okay? Why she even wanted to buy a house down here, or why she came down here and even looked at houses, I'll never understand that. There's not a single black person in this entire subdivision. Well, no, I think Mary said there's one other lady here. But we're in a subdivision, okay? These houses are, fairly new. It's all white, old white bags of bones walking them down the street. I don't even get to see no decent looking ladies or no kids. My kids are the only kids on in here. Okay, and at first they had a problem with that because this dumbass house in an HOA. That's another thing. She didn't have savvy enough to be a home buyer that knew how to work the market and knew what to look out for. So her agent let her sit there and buy a house in a goddamn homeowner association where they tell you what to do. Like when me and my kids first got here, these white folks was jumping them down for a minute. So the HOA was trying to fuck with Mary about it, and I took it upon myself to give them a call. Now Mary talked to them too, but I didn't tell Mary this. I called them fucking people, and I told them, I said, "Let me tell you something. Yeah, this is a 55 and older, community, and I understand that." I said, "But life happens. Shit happens." I said, "So a situation happened to where I need to change my life, and I ended up coming here, and my kids ended up coming here too." I said, "So now you can jump up and down and act like a motherfucking fool if you want to, but that shit about trying to, harass Mary because, she allowed me and my children to move in with her. I said, that's going to backfire and blow up in your face." I said, "Let me tell you something. Money talks, bullshit walks every day, no matter what aspect of life you're talking about. No business wants a black eye or to be involved in a discrimination case or things of that nature because that's bad for their business. Because even people that may agree with them won't want to do business with them because of the fact that they did some fucked up shady shit. Because telling kids they can't live here or telling uh, people actually that whole concept of 55 and older is bullshit. And if a person really wanted to take it to task, I believe that civilly and legally it's a violation of people's civil rights to even do that shit. Because you have a right to live wherever the fuck you want to. Age has nothing to do with it. Color of your skin got nothing to do with it. Your religion has nothing to do with it. That shit's illegal. That's discrimination. I don't give a fuck how you look at it. I don't care how they word it. How they try to make it not seem like it is what it is. It is what it is. It's discrimination. They didn't really want to have that discrimination tag placed on them because once you put something in people's mind that this is what this business does, that stays. People will remember the negative shit that you do to them more so than the positive shit. And I'm not saying that's right, wrong, or different, but the bottom line is it is what happens in life, and it is the way people are. So back to my original thing, Facebook and this censorship shit. Like they censored Donald Trump. And Lord knows I can't stand Donald Trump. I hate that motherfucker. I want somebody to assassinate him, but he's talking about running again. I'm hoping that if he does decide to do that shit, somebody will kill him. I'm serious, and I don't normally wish death on nobody, but in his case, because he's a ratchet ass motherfucker. He's a racist, and he's stupid. If he was to run for president, I was hoping I'd be hoping somebody would kill him before the election. But Facebook and Twitter or whatever, because I don't even fucking have a Twitter account. Fuck Twitter. They banned him. I don't like him either, but I do support his right of freedom of speech. They had no business banning him. But because so many people didn't like him, nobody went to his defense. He went and got a lawyer. I don't know if they've ever settled that or not. I've got to research that to see if that ever settled and what was the judgment. Because I actually would like to know what the judges think on about how Facebook and these other social media giants handle, freedom of speech and censorship. This ain't Russia. It's not communist China. It's not North Korea. This is the United States of America. It's advertised as land of the free, home of the brave. That ain't what it is. It's land of the white and home of the keeping niggas down. That's what it really is. Most people that like me because I am very honest. I do speak my mind because, at the end of the day, like I say, I don't care what you think. I don't care if you don't agree with me. Matter of fact, I welcome you to agree to disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that. But the thing about me is I stand up for what's right. My first father-in-law, his favorite saying was, he used to tell me this all the time, Marvin, right don't wrong nobody. And he's right. Right don't wrong nobody. And the only people that have a problem with you being right is them people that are being wrong. A lot of times, people think that it's not good to put your business out there. Don't let nobody know that, you're hurt or that somebody's hurting you or doing something bad to you. To that I say bullshit. Because the more people see nothing, if you look through history, look, if black people hadn't spoken out and just kept quiet back in the day, we'd still be slaves. Black folks, some black folks, the ones that had balls or guts, stood up for their rights, and the white people that saw them do that appreciated it and helped them. And it's like I was telling Facebook, the topic that I was talking about on there that got me banned, it's I don't want to go into it right now, but I will eventually. But the topic that I was speaking on, I wasn't lying because I don't do that. I was telling the truth. And the people I was talking about did exactly what I said they did. Facebook didn't like it that I spoke in a derogatory manner about those folks. But in my opinion, that's Facebook's problem. That's not my problem. Everybody should be able to say whatever the fuck is real as long as they're not lying about it. But I'm not down for telling lies or just being fucked up or anything like that. But if what you're saying is the truth and it's right, you should have a right to say it, whether it's negative or it's positive. And nobody has the right to tell you you can't say it or to try to silence you. I wrote Facebook a long letter and explained that to them, and I'm sure they'll read it, but that's not. I'm sure also that it won't change nothing. Because in order to get in white America, in order to make white America do the right thing, you have to take them to court. You have to make them do the right thing, and that's a goddamn shame too. That people have to be made to do what they already know is right. Why not just do what's right because you know it's right? Simple as that. This ain't rocket science. They can send motherfuckers up to space and go to other planets and shit, but they can't even figure out what's right here on the ground. I don't know, people. I'm just fed up and tired. Anyway, I'm gonna bring this to an end. I didn't realize I've been talking 30 minutes, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of angry. I'm angry at a lot of people for a lot of things. Sometimes it seems like the only person doing the right thing is me. And then when I get accused of shit that I didn't do, that pisses me the fuck off. You know, I hate a fucking person that doesn't believe or take my word for something because they have no reason not to. I'm not a liar. I'm not a thief. I'm not a criminal. I believe in fair play. I believe in fair-mindedness. It pisses me off when I know that I'm being right. I know that I'm in the right because if I'm like this, if I don't know about something, I don't speak on shit I don't know nothing about. And if I'm standing up for something, I don't stand up for shit that ain't right. I stand up for right and nothing else. Perhaps the rest of us all do the same thing. On that note, if you watch the show and you watch the video later, I appreciate it. Thank you. Like and subscribe. You're watching OGMarv Whispers. That's the name of my show. I'm OGMarv. I'm the host. And mind you, this is strictly my opinion. You don't have to agree with me. I invite you to agree to disagree. But I also invite you to look at the facts. And if you want to, debate about it, we can do that. But know what you're talking about. Again, this is OGMarv. If you watch this show, I see a couple people there. If you watch the show live, thank you for being here. If you watch the show later, thank you for watching it. I'm OGMarv. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day.